Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And in this one, I want to talk about the Charge Blade because Capcom just dropped some more weapon gameplay. I mentioned yesterday that of course I was only able to upload so much of the stuff that I had a chance to record, but since then Capcom have very graciously gone and their R&D team basically recorded some gameplay of the Charge Blade and the heavy bowgun. They posted it today. Unfortunately they just posted it to Twitter, and as a result it's only 720p, so that's why the visuals don't look as good in this video. I'm sure by the time I post this video they'll probably upload it in crispy HD. Anyway, that aside, this is really cool because specifically for the Charge Blade they're actually showing some really nice stuff. Honestly, from what they've shown, Charge Blade is looking hella spicy in Sunbreak, which I think it deserves because in Rise, yeah, I mean there were some cool things to it, but it did get sort of the short end of the stick. It definitely sort of wasn't as powerful, or at least didn't feel as powerful as it did before. And some of these new things, I feel like when they showed off the Charge Blade preview video, it didn't really sell the new changes, the new silkbind moves, the new sort of switch skills so much. However, now we see it in action, specifically for the ready stance, it looks real spicy. So let's talk about it. If you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you are Charge Blade users. Let me know what you guys think about this one. And of course, don't forget to keep it locked for plenty more. So, of course, in this video, they are fighting primarily Lunagaron, of course, rocking full Rathalos gear with the nice Rathalos Charge Blade. Now, before we, of course, go into the gameplay itself, as a reminder, from the original weapon previews, one of the silkbind attacks was called Ready Stance. And we mentioned at the time that it didn't really demonstrate exactly what you want to use it for. In fact, it kind of looked a little bit lackluster, purely from the original video. But we now see, when you look at it in action, this is basically like a way to animation cancel some of the bigger moves. I'm really excited to see just how many moves you can use this off, whether you can use this to reset, you know, various other things as well. I am really excited to sort of test it out. But specifically in this one, they are of course whipping out the pizza cutter, the Beyblade attack, however you want to describe it. Honestly, I really like this move. It is one of those ones that definitely had some good damage potential, but it was also slightly slower to wind up, so it wasn't necessarily always used as much. But as you can see in here, typically this move of course has a couple of the sort of wide sweeps, and then it normally ends in a slightly slower animation. However, when they use Ready Stance, which we can see of course only costs one wire bug, is incredibly quick. It basically allows you to reset, go back to the beginning of this, thus making this move even more viable because you can use it in slightly smaller situations. You can basically drop the slightly longer ending lag animation, the sort of a final attack that you would otherwise normally have used, and basically get this really nice, seemingly high damage loop going. Honestly, again, like I say, I really enjoyed using this move. It's just super satisfying. The way you're basically just like chainsaw ripping your way, or sort of pizza cutter ripping your way through the monster, always felt super satisfying. And again, if you sort of pair it with the right sort of weapon, you can actually get some nice damage out of this. So this now looks incredibly cool. Also, just the general sort of switch skill swap feature. We of course see it used various different times throughout this to, you know, seemingly dodge. I mentioned in the other video the other day that it is basically like Valor dodge from sort of Generations, in that it is very generous, so you can of course use this to get yourself out of a pinch, especially if you're using it, say, amidst a slightly longer animation. You can then use that sort of a swap to quickly get yourself out of the way. But honestly, this Ready Stance, this is probably one of the nicest demonstrations. This really does go to show the value of this, and again, being a very low cost move, not only does it only cost one silk bug, it also, as you can see, recharges very quickly because it is clearly designed to be used as this canceller, so if it did have a long recharge, it would kind of be a bit redundant. Anyway, for the time being, I'll leave you guys with a little bit of the Charge Blade gameplay they shared. They did also drop at the end of this video some heavy bowgun gameplay. I've of course shared some of that already on the channel, so largely speaking, not too much new was shown in that one. They of course used the damage ring in order to sort of shoot through it, and they of course also have the new firing mode to basically like machine gun your way through. But for the time being, on this video, I just wanted to focus on the Charge Blade because it is a weapon that in the past had sort of not necessarily felt like it was, you know, getting its sort of full value. Definitely sort of felt like it was a bit undertuned in Rise, maybe to a degree, or at least to like the SAED side of things, definitely didn't feel as satisfying. So I am very excited, of course, Charge Blade being my second favourite weapon after Sword and Shield, so I'm very excited to mess around with this. Anyway, that's it for the time being. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you've missed any of our recent videos, you can check out one of those ones linked on screen, and do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more Sunbreak.